And hello, all my fellow nerds out there. This is Uncle Richie, and welcome back once again to Remembering Emily. We're here at Chapter 6, The Incident. Oh, and it actually continues where it left off, finally. A friggin' chapter that's actually linear. Hopefully. Seth and I stood for a few seconds looking at each other, completely still, without saying anything. Till after a few moments, he decided to speak first. Are you still there? What do you want? I just told you, this is my apartment. Who do you think lives Who you think lives here does not live here. Seth came close to me. I could almost feel his breath on my face, but I don't know why. I knew he didn't want to hurt me. You don't you don't know who you're helping. Get away while you still can. If you don't, I guarantee that you will regret it sooner rather than later. His gaze was not that of someone who wanted to threaten me. I felt I felt his words as honest advice. Even today, I find it hard to understand what happened at that time. Seth turned towards the door. He called Emily back. Or Emma. Emma, just know that your little friend isn't going to distract me. Either you come out or I'll have to make you. And I don't think you want your new boyfriend to see you leaving his apartment like that. At that moment, I tackled Seth. Whether it was because of anger or because of the way he was talking to Emily. I couldn't take it anymore. But Seth quickly managed to block me. I didn't stand a chance against him. What are you doing? Drop it before you get hurt. Tell you again. This has nothing to do with you. The way he patronized me clashed with the aggressiveness he used to talk to Emily. Soon after that, we began to hear noises inside the apartment. Enough! Emily echoed loudly in the hallway. And little by little, we watched as the door began to open. Seth, stop it! Thomas has nothing to do with this at all. So that's the name of your new little friend. Do you want to talk? Okay, let's talk. Then you have to leave immediately. You know it's not as simple as that. Let's talk first. Uh, Honestly, I think Emily may have made the stupid decision here. I would have just stayed hidden and just not say anything. Seth came into my apartment, and I went in after him. Emily led him to the living room there, and there they started talking. What do you want to talk about, Emma? Everything has already been said. You know you can't be here. I started my new life in this city. Emma is dead. Please, just let me go. Let me go with my life. Forget about me. That's not what you said when I met you. It was all begging, asking for help and money. I don't want your dirty money. You never cared how dirty it was to use it. What do you want? For me to come back with you and look like a happy couple? You know perfectly well that if it were up to me, I would have let you go long ago. Do you think your job was something that you could quit overnight? I was out of town for a while. You know exactly why. When I managed to return, I find that you have abandoned everything. I couldn't take it anymore. It was not your decision. Do you want to forget me? Go for it. Do you want to not see me ever again? Perfect. But to question my word because of your games, even putting myself in danger after everything that was going on during my time out of town, I won't allow it. I'm not going with you. I'm not leaving. I have decided to stay with Thomas. At that moment, Seth turned his head towards me. His look had changed. If what it looked like, well, if what from what it looked like patronizing to a look of disgust that I had never seen in my life. Thomas, isn't it? Yeah. I want to talk to you. Emily tried to stop him, but Seth refused. I want to talk to Thomas alone, Emma. If you want, if you want everybody to be this calm, go to the bedroom and wait till I finish talking. Emily tried to resist, but she realized that the most logical thing to do at that point was play along. Seth grabbed my shoulder and led me to the kitchen as he poured himself a glass of water. How did she convince you to live with you? Did she tell you she was ill? Did she seduce you enough for you to ask her? She was afraid of you. She saw you in the street a few months ago looking for her. She didn't want to be found. And you believed her? I was the bad guy according to... What did you call her? Ah, yes, Emily. I didn't know what to say. I was a direct witness. I knew what was going on. Seth wanted to take her against her will. Seth was the one that had been harassing Emily. I admit I had a lot of unanswered questions. Seth, I don't know what happened between you and Emily. And to a certain extent, I don't care. She now wants to leave everything behind. Here. Why do you want to make this more complicated than it needs to be? Do you think I'm the one complicating everything? Every word that came out of Seth's mouth confused me more and more. Sort of like the story has been confusing me more and more. I knew that Emily had a difficult life and when she ran away. She had received help from Seth in that park. But what if everything she had told me about Seth wasn't like that? Thomas, one question before you continue. Did Emily stay in the bedroom all the time? Didn't she go out to try to get Seth to leave? I admit I am quite confused, but yes. At that moment, Emily came out of the bedroom. What do you want, Seth? What's your agenda? Thomas has been the only one who has helped me without expecting anything in return. Nothing at all? Is that right, Thomas? Seth looked at me again. Challenging. My mind was racing, looking for any word that may change his mind. However, those words never came out. What do you want us to do, Seth? To leave our whole lives behind just to follow your whims? I don't care about your life. What about mine? Do you think that for a couple of moments of sympathy you already owe me? You decided to take part in my business. You know that wasn't free. And now I can't trust you. Even though I have given you everything you have. You betray me just like that? At that, Seth grabbed Emily's arm and forced her to go with him. They walked through the door of my apartment while Emily was trying to get away from Seth. Not knowing quite what to do, and trying to release all the rage I felt inside me, I only got one word out of my mouth. Seth? Seth, surprised, quickly turned to me. At the very moment that Seth lost focus, Emily managed to break free. Quickly, Emily ran to the end of the corridor and went upstairs. What have you done? Seth's rage was increasing by the minute. When about an hour, he decided to go after Emily. I went after them. Upstairs, Seth was knocking at Emily's apartment door. You don't know what you're doing. I know, I'm protecting her from you. Emily is no helpless little princess. Emily knew exactly what she was getting into when she started working in my business. You're talking about it all the time. What is this important thing that Emily was doing that she can't give up? I see you don't know everything about Emma's past. What exactly did she tell you? What did she tell you about us or her job? She told me enough to know that you're not exactly an angel. She was trying to help other girls like her move forward. Did she tell you how she did it? Do you know what she was doing to help them? I didn't know what to answer. I didn't want to hear a word Seth was telling me. How could I believe him? Emma helped girls like her, yes. To girls who wanted to be given substances to escape from their lives. Emma, you were incredibly original to describe your job. Honestly, I would have never thought of that. I didn't even know what to say. I couldn't even think of the word. Dude, you could have just had Seth say she was a drug dealer, okay? You could have just said that. And did she tell you what she did with that money from the girl she was helping last time? How do you think she's been able to rent this apartment and survive all this time? I'm not here to bring a two-bit drug dealer back to town. I'm here to take back what belongs to me. She's not yours, Seth. Who said she belongs to me? You did? You basically inferred that she did? Honestly, your writing skills need a bit of work. Do you want to tell him, Emma? Or would you prefer me to tell him? I mean, you kind of already told me. With each passing moment, at every word Seth uttered, and every sound from Emily, or Emma, it made my whole world crumble. In that desperation, I just wanted to know the truth. Tell me what? Emily fled town, but not because she was afraid of me. She knew perfectly well that she could have left me, and I wouldn't have lifted a finger for her. She left the city because she stole a lot of money from me. How did you describe it, Emma? Yes, from the girls she helped. And that's not the worst of it. She accused me of being responsible for it all in front of my own bosses. Bosses she met through me and whom I begged to give her a job. At that very moment, she opened the door. Just for a moment. Emily knew that Seth had his back to her. That he would be focused on talking to me. And I would be paying attention to the door of her apartment. Quickly, I knocked Seth out. I still don't know how. How does a scrawny guy like you actually knock someone out that bulky? I went inside Emily's apartment and we left Seth outside. Are you alright, Thomas? Emily, is it true? I don't care what your name is. That's the least of it. About the girls. About helping other girls. Is that true? Have you told me a single truth since we met? Thomas. Sorry. It is true that my name is Emma. But I bet you didn't call me that. And it is true that I sold that for rich girls. But I was really trying to help them, Thomas. You know what I went through with my parents? I understood them better than anyone else. Many asked me to sell to them, and others saw in me someone they could trust. Thanks to me, they knew that they knew what they were doing, and I even tried to make sure that what I provided was their last choice. Emily, I don't know what to say. I want to believe you, but that is not much better than what Seth told me. Sometimes things are neither black nor white. I know I've had to do horrible things to survive. To be able to find what I really love. Photography. You. My heart at the moment, I did not know what to do. And just like the day she pulled the gun, I never felt that even though I was hearing something horrible from her own lips, I could only feel that Emily had struggled to keep going. How could I judge her? What about the money? Seth told me you had stolen a lot of money from your business. And that pinned that on him. Well, those are lies, Thomas. If it were true, I would tell you. Just as I've told you everything else. Seth does not deserve a good thing in this world. He's using me as a scapegoat in his boss's eyes. The same bosses that are looking for him to get their money back. That's why I left town. I knew that if he came back, he would want to use me so that all the blame for his shady business would fall on me. Who would they believe? The newly arrived girl from a wealthy family who was barely making the sales they demanded? Or Seth, who had been by their side for a decade? His plan from the beginning was to make me take the fall. I had seen Emily all that time. She did not wear expensive clothes. Her computer was really modest. Even her camera, which was almost part of herself, was halfway between an amateur and professional one. If she had stolen so much money, Wouldn't I have seen it somewhere? Wouldn't she have spent some of that money on herself? I believe you, Emily. Emily's look went from worried to smiling, like that little moment of calm before the storm. What what do we do now? I have a plan. Immediately, Emily pulled a pistol from her waistband, the same one she pointed at me in the cafe. Are you going to kill him? If there's no other choice. At that very moment, Seth managed to force the apartment door open. Seth's figure positioned himself at the center of Emily's living room. You have one last chance, Emma. What is it, Thomas? What happened when Seth entered Emily's apartment? I remember how it all turned out, but I can't exactly recall at that time. Dean, you can't recall it, Thomas. Noah here literally asked you how you ended up killing Seth. Oh, how do you not remember? Every time you tried to remember this, you told me that you tried to confront Seth in one way or another, but you never disclosed any details. I think my mind is starting to be a bit clearer. I stepped between Emily and Seth. I was knocked unconscious. I honestly think you would be knocked unconscious by this guy. I mean, I don't think it matters either way. We're probably still gonna get knocked on our ass. Step between Emily and Seth. If you come with me, no one will get hurt. Seth, you have a chance too. You know Emily wasn't the one who took the money. Oh, I see you're already aware of her little princess's version. Who has it then? Has a dog eaten it? Seth, if you screwed up on a boss's assignment or your greed made you lose it, it is none of my business. What do you think the bosses will do when they see you with me? Even if they believe you, you will still have the same problem. I was your responsibility in their eyes. And the best thing we can do, both of us, is disappear. Great timing. You're way ahead of me in that. You already have a house and a husband. Uh, okay, first off, I'm not her fucking husband, dude. But for me, that's not enough. At that moment, Seth pounced on Emily. I tried to get in the middle, but he pushed me aside as I meant nothing to him. I was half unconscious, but I could see everything going on around me. That instant, just 3 feet away from her, Emily pointed the gun at Seth's head. Oh, I see the kitty is finally showing her claws. Seth, don't make me do this. I'm not making you do anything. When I arrived in the city, you were the only one who noticed me. You gave me a house, food, something to start fighting for. But I want to move forward. I want a normal life. To live a normal life. Please leave. Leave me alone. What about my own dreams? What about my hopes? I'm not going to let a bunch of note banks, which on top of everything I'm not responsible for losing, take away everything that I've fought for all this time. Said pounced Emily again. And all of a sudden, dry sound flooded the room. In the movies, you usually hear a gunshot in a very different way, as the sound lingered in your ear for only a few seconds. When you hear a gunshot penetrate a man's body, the sound is really different. Even to this day, I can still hear hissing sound after the silence of the impact. Emily, I had to do it, Thomas. Shock. I remember this for the rest of my life. Jesus. At least the CGs are like okay. Like the CGs are okay. They're good. Like this one, really well drawn. I'm not gonna lie. Seth's body laying on the ground, lifeless. Blood was spraying around his chest. Emily remained motionless. She continued wielding the weapon that had ended Seth's life. As if she could not get over what she had just done, taking a person's life. A person who wanted to take hers. Someone who wanted to drag her into a fate that, in a worst case scenario, could cost her life. But at the end of the day, killing someone in any case, mentally it is the same. Thomas, for the first time you've managed to tell me in detail how Seth died. I think we're making progress. Yes, I think I'm clearing up my memories too. I think I'm ready, Noah. Are you sure? I also don't want to put pressure on you when we have made so much progress. Yes. I think I'm ready to tell you how I killed Emily. You don't look too well, Thomas. Do you want to stop for a while? Yes, that would be great. All of that Seth's corpse on the ground, I'll never forget that. The smell of gunpowder still lingered in the air, blood flowing from the wound. Luckily, I've never had to live something like that, Thomas. Many people have been through this practice looking for a way to forget similar situations. To be able to move forward. I'm not going to lie, these are not easy memories for someone to assimilate. I knew that he deserved it. I knew that as long as he lived, he would be Emily's downfall. But deep down, I feel I had to save him somehow. You thinking like that, as horrible as Seth was, just means you're human. Yes, I know, but if you thought otherwise, it would be a clear symptom of psychopathy. So I wouldn't read too much into it, Thomas. Of course, you didn't want him to die, nor for him to be murdered. But because of your instincts for human preservation prevails over any psychological disorder, you're right. If I keep looking for more answers, I'll end up going crazy. Even more so when the reason is more than clear. Besides, from everything you've been telling me now, there are things I don't quite understand. First is, why, when you saw Seth, didn't you call the police? I really don't know. Yeah, why didn't you just call the freaking cops? If someone's breaking into your apartment, you would call the cops immediately. It's true that after spending the morning with Kate, my cell phone had run out of battery. Oh, of freaking course it ran out of battery, and you didn't think to charge it whatsoever. Freaking idiot protagonists. At that moment, I had checked my cell phone just before. Immediately afterwards, it ran out of power. Bruh. That's why I hadn't checked the cameras remotely either. Now it makes sense that you didn't look at the cameras from your cell phone before entering Emily's apartment. But what happened, Thomas? There is something that prevents me from telling you why I didn't call the police. As if I was justifying something I could have avoided. As if it wasn't exactly like that. Maybe you're still thinking about how you could have prevented Seth's death. I guess. I don't know. But I think what really kept me from calling the police was that I didn't think it was necessary. Your cell had run out of battery, Thomas. How are you going to do it anyway? Well, that's true, but although it's just a vague memory, I think the real reason is that I didn't feel like it was necessary to call. You literally just said that 5 minutes ago. Come on, dude, stop repeating yourself. Maybe you thought you could control the situation? That you could convince Seth? I guess so. Although, looking back, it may have been somewhat absurd. The truth is that, although you didn't manage to convince him, you and Seth were talking quite a bit. Wait, why is this background from my apartment? Yeah, why is he using my apartment's background? Why not Emily's? That's a bit inconsistent, Dev. More than I imagined when I started learning about your case. At first, Seth was quite elusive, but as time went on, let's just say he was more interested in talking to me. Did you believe everything he told you about Emily? Actually, I guess deep down I knew it. What do you mean? Emily had told me that she had gotten her job because of Seth. That's why the second time we met, I insisted that she had to give it all up. Because no matter how much she denied it, it was clear that she was involved in something dirty. Do you know that Emily had been lying all the time? What else could she do? Tell me she was selling illegal substances to girls in upper class neighborhoods? I mean, yes? You could have just had it written that way, and it wouldn't be as confusing as it is now. Like, come on. I guess she told me as much truth as she could tell me, although ignoring many of the most important parts. Not to mention that it would not be something her bosses would approve. I mean, again, she was running away from her life and wanted to start fresh. I don't think she would give a toss about what her bosses cared about, or what they approved of or not. I don't doubt they would let her speak openly about his activities. So when I heard about it, even though I was shocked, and I even began to doubt everything she had told me, I didn't want to blame her for all that either. It was not fair. What about money? How could she possibly steal all that money with her standard of living? I could never believe that. It didn't make sense to you, did it? If she had gotten enough money to put Seth in danger, wouldn't there be at least some whim or something out of tune with her meager income? Emily's camera was old, perfect for a beginner who was just starting out as a professional. And the computer she was working with? I had to buy some parts myself to make it work a little better. What Seth had said made no sense at all. Maybe he just wanted you to take his side. Yes, completely. In the end, if he had convinced me of all that, it would have been real easy for him to take Emily. About Emma's relationship with Seth, Seth repeated quite a few times that he didn't care about Emily. What did you think of it all? That Emily knew much more that she had told. I'm sure Emily knew Seth was looking for her, but not because of an obsession with her. He was looking for her because he knew what had happened. By the time I met Emily, Seth had already been exiled from the city. She continued with her activities, and now I understand why she didn't change her lifestyle. She was most likely being watched, having every single movement tracked. Now it starts to make sense after all. Yes. No, it freaking doesn't! You could have told the story a little bit better, and made it a little bit easier to understand. After pointing that gun at me, I understand what she wanted to force things. Escape from all of that somehow. And that's why she moved to a friend's house and later on changed cities. And having started using another identity was surely helpful. Yes. Emily in the end was still a victim who wanted to escape her own fate. Speaking of escape, Thomas, why do you think Emily went straight up to her apartment when she was able to get away from Seth? Why not go directly to the street? Exactly! Why would you be an idiot? Why not try to be in a public space to stop public space to stop Seth from doing something? The only thing I could think of, it was clear to me that the only option was how to end it all. After all, what could the police have done for her? They'd already failed him. Even her contacting the police in the old city. Everything had been for nothing. Do you think that when she saw Seth, he already knew what to do? She already knew what to do, you meant. I think it was already clear to me that even when I met Emily in that coffee shop, I don't see that you were surprised, Thomas. It's the only thing that made sense to me right now. If she had to run away and escape to another city, she would have eventually ended up the same way. Living in fear is not something I wish for anyone. But she could be arrested. She had killed a person who was going to look for Seth. In the end, he was a criminal on a police record. If he ended up riddled with bullets in the streets, it's not like they were going to spend too much time on him. Yes, they freaking would! It was a corpse! Even so, I'm surprised it all ended so quickly. What do you mean? Ellie knew exactly what she had to do, but it's just the moment she decided to pull the trigger. Even if it was an understandable and rational thing to do, it still surprises me that she could do it. I think Emily's attitude was cold when she shot Seth. Honestly, I don't know. When Emily shot Seth, I didn't see the exact moment. I saw her moments later, motionless, not knowing what to do. But I did see a faint smile creep across her face. She had managed to leave behind the last thing that tied her to her past. To a past that could cost her life. I know. But even so, it still doesn't seem what, Thomas? Normal. I am aware that I cannot put myself in Emily's shoes, but I doubt that I could have killed someone or felt so free, no matter what I had achieved. As you said yourself, it is complicated, if not impossible, to judge someone who has been through everything Emily went through. Yes, you're right. Let's continue, if you like, where we left off, since this is the last moment we have to go over everything that happened. Tell me how finally, because of Seth's death, according to what you told me at the beginning, you're responsible for Emily's death. Alright, chapter 7. We're finally getting to the end of this, but... Oh, whoops. I want to end this video here, so... Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!